for a sense of common good. Now, the cyclical nature of whether we're in a period where we're having rather low top end or higher top end, that will vary. I agree absolutely that there comes a point where gaps become obscene, but they become to be perceived to be obscene and inefficient, and so that levels out. We're coming through a period of the Thatcher thing where we let the lid off for a while, and in my view, it has its vulgar bits I don't like, but in my view, yes, that's delivered.
Ruth, hang on a second, John. Ruth, you're a gentle sort of person.
I am indeed, yes.
But you are, in your way, the Institute of Directors, an apostle of capitalism.
Yes.
I mean, what's your take on that? Do you...
Well,
is there an alternative?
Well, I would like to see more people have more spiritual values. I personally would like to see more people go to church, but that's for their spirituality rather than actually their materialistic needs. As far as running the economy is concerned, I would always say that capitalism is the worst form of running an economy until you see all the other ways, because, of course, what are the alternatives? And we've not perhaps really got down to what are the alternative economic systems that may be better than the one we've got at the moment. But let's just look at the history of the world, and what is the alternative? It's the old Soviet command system, where there's absolutely no response at all to the consumer needs. And of course what happened is that actually economic growth was held back. So I think I would like to see a sort of a balance between, yes, let's have our mixed, really fettered capitalist system that we've already got. As I've already said, the state has quite a big role in it. And then let people and encourage people to have more spiritual values. But you can't force these things upon them.
Can I ask each of you an unanswerable question, a rhetorical question really, but I'm really interested in what you have to say. Are we gaining material things at the expense of our soul, viewed from the Highlands?
Can I use the word self rather than soul? I think that's the important aspect of it. That, you know, through our whole lives, when we're children, our agenda is set by our parents. We go to school, our agenda is set by our teachers. We get employed, our agenda is set by our employers. We may even get into a family and our agenda is set by our families. There has to come a time when we have to examine ourselves and ask ourselves, who are we and what do we want to do?
Richard?
Some are, some aren't. It's a lovely challenge.
Yasmin?
Yes, totally. And once that's gone, I think it's very hard to recover. And you can't take this with you anyway. You may as well look after your soul better than your furniture, I think.
John?
It's not so easy, I don't think, because I fundamentally believe that Christianity and any other form of faith is a way of life. So therefore the practice is as important as the spiritual element, and you cannot separate the two. Our problem is that we have separated the two, and we have thought that you could go on having religion, as it were, which has got nothing at all to do with your economic performance and your relationship to the society and your relationship to future and your relationship to other people. Now, that is stupid.
Ruth?
Well, I don't actually agree with that. I think it's up to people to have their own souls and develop their own souls, and at the same time actually encourage materialism as well. But keep materialism in its place. It's number two. Your life, your soul, yourself is actually number one.
Well, that's it for this week. Next week, the revolution in our own living rooms. Have divorced single mothers and same-sex parents killed off the traditional nuclear family? Is this the price that we're willing to pay for a more democratic home life? Or is it actually undermining democracy itself? The future of the family on Soul of Britain next week. Until then, good night.
And that's at the same time on BBC One at 11:15.
In the Syndicate,
answering the question is only half the battle.
You've got to attack your opponents.
Your choice now could transform the game.
Defend
your position.
Take the points, reinstate or eliminate.
Eliminate John, please.
And know who to sacrifice.
This is crunch time and a struggle for possession.
The Syndicate, the battle to be Britain's best quiz brains, starts tomorrow at 8:30 after EastEnders on BBC One.
Because it's not about taking part.
It's about winning.
This week's mission is to enlist the help of these people. Take these plants, this equipment, and transform this urban schoolyard into a tropical jungle There's only one woman for the job. Charlie's Garden Army, Friday at 8 on BBC One.
Patrick Moore goes deep into space, the sky at night on BBC One after the weather on Earth with Peter Cockcroft.
Hello again and welcome to our late night look at the weather. Now this weekend across England and Wales, slightly different to last weekend, but the weather's been pretty kind to the music lovers down at Glastonbury. At least we haven't had things like the Year of Mud back in '97. This year generally it's been dry, a bit on the chilly side, particularly at night, with the nighttime temperatures getting down to just 6 Celsius. But with all those little bodies around, I should think most people manage to keep themselves warm. Incidentally, don't run away quite yet, but you can catch up with the highlights of all 3 days of the festival over on BBC Two at the moment. But hang on a moment and let me show you what the weather's been doing across the British Isles this weekend. If you did want the warmth, then Poole in Dorset was the warmest place at 21 degrees. A little bit cooler than that up in Fair Isle there between Orkney and Shetland. Quite a bit of sunshine around on Saturday for Pembrokeshire, and that transferred northwards up to Lucas in Fife for Sunday. Nearly 13 hours of sunshine there. And as far as the rain was concerned, well, it was Lucas that was wettest on Saturday, oddly enough, with Southport in Lancashire getting about half an inch of rain there during a Sunday. Now, there was some wetter weather across in Europe, as you can see, lots of storms showing up on our storm detector, even a few thunderstorms breaking out across the Spanish plain. You can see the dark, threatening cloud showing up here on our satellite scan. You can see it making its way northwards across Spain. I think as far as the next few days are concerned, if you are heading off to Europe, you might well bump into a few showers. If you want warm, sunny weather, hot, sunny weather, then head south down into the Mediterranean. Now, there's a slight chance of a shower turning up in London during Monday, but we'll move on to that in a moment or two. Let's turn our attention back to the UK overnight. I think generally quite a cloudy night, much of the British Isles staying dry, just 1 or 2 bits of drizzly rain probably clipping the west coast of Ireland. Into Monday, and again really for most of us it's going to be a dry day, rather cloudy day. Will be a bit of sunshine breaking through, perhaps the odd spit or spot of rain getting into northern parts of Northern Ireland, working up the west coast of Scotland, and there is just a chance of the odd shower developing in inland areas across England and Wales, with top temperatures probably coming out at 21 degrees in London. Now, I did say it was a small chance of a shower, and as far as the start of Wimbledon's concerned, that chance just 10%. Now that means there's a 90% chance that it'll stay dry for play at the start of the Wimbledon fortnight. Tuesday things start to warm up, but then as we go into the week, towards the middle and latter part of the week, it looks as though the weather's likely to turn more and more unsettled, and you can see that hinted at here on our temperature maps. Notice how it warms up during the next few days, that warm weather spreading into Northern Ireland and also into southern parts of Scotland, and then the cooler colours coming back in as we go from Wednesday, Thursday and into Friday. So a good start to the Wimbledon fortnight, but some unsettled weather turning up later in the week. Good night.
You know, behaviour like this gets rumours started. People will think I actually like you.
Will it be a lesson in love?
I'd rather you didn't make insinuations about my personal life.
For Lenny Henry.
Hasn't been anyone else.
And Amanda Redman.
My mother warned me about men like you.
An inspiration to us all.
You could try some shameless pleading.
You first. In Hope and Glory.
Why is the Who's Judge?
The new series.
Prepare to be dazzled.
Starts Tuesday at 9:30 on BBC One.
Evening.
First take the Rosetsky serve and the Agassi forehand. Leighton Hewitt's backhand.
In daylight, it's a winter thing, but most people know Orion with the belt and the gleaming sword.